say first, Mayor, how appreciative I am and how appreciative the entire council and the entire city of Los Angeles is for your leadership on this budget. A lot of people haven't fully realized the challenge that was before our mayor upon her election. She was the first new mayor to come into office with our new schedule, which meant that she was being sworn into office while the budget was already underway. And so, unlike past mayors, she didn't have the opportunity to have a smooth transition into the budget. She had to jump in midstream. And even with that challenge, before she was even sworn in, she was reaching out to this council to try to figure out how we can lock arms, work collaboratively, build consensus towards achieving a budget that serves the needs of all Angelenos. And it is an example of what we can expect from this mayor moving forward, the kind of collaborative leadership that she is demonstrating now, but it's also it's reminiscent of the leadership that she has shown throughout her career. And when we were serving in the legislature together, she was able to bring together people of very different viewpoints, Republicans and Democrats, conservatives, liberals, to help deliver a budget for the state of California in its worst, darkest moment of recession. She was able to deliver that through her collaborative leadership, and so has it been here in Los Angeles. So, Mayor, I'm incredibly grateful for the work that you've done. And this budget, our extraordinary budget committee, led by our first-time budget chair, but long-time budget veteran, Bob Blumenfield, has delivered to this council, is a budget that invests in public safety. It funds the extraordinary urgency of response to homelessness and affordable housing crisis that the city has faced, that the mayor has emphasized so much urgency about. It invests in our basic infrastructure and quality of life and the sorts of basic services that people in Los Angeles need. It invests in improving our environment, and it lays the foundation for our economic recovery post-COVID to continue to create jobs, to continue to create revenues, and to lift all of the neighborhoods of Los Angeles up. So I couldn't be more pleased with the budget that we have produced together that will guide this city forward. And I want to reiterate my thanks to Chairman Blumenfield and all of the members of the Budget Committee for the long hours, the detailed analysis, the careful consideration, the difficult trade-offs that they had to make in delivering a budget that could get such broad support in this city council. So I want to thank Chairman Blumenfield, and I also want to thank my friend, our council president pro tem, Curren, who is also a longtime budget veteran and was part of the struggle within the committee and then helped to lead the passage of this budget on the council floor. So I'd like to introduce Council President pro tem Curren.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, let me start by thanking Mayor Bass for her leadership on this budget. And Council President Krekorian and Budget Chair Blumenfield for their facilitating a thoughtful and thorough review of this budget that was approved by the council. But I'm pleased to join my colleagues and Mayor Bass as she signs her first budget, a budget that really delivers for Angelenos in lots of ways. The budget provides historic investment in resources to bring our unhoused in, of course, with the Mayor's Inside Safe program. But beyond that, we're working together to provide a clear path for how we can improve the conditions of our citizens. This budget increases resources for public safety, including unarmed alternative crisis response programs, investments in pedestrian and traffic safety, combat crime, combat climate change, and increase opportunities for growth, and reducing poverty, all within this budget. We've met this moment with great urgency and determination, and the budget certainly is a fiscally sound one that provides significant revenues for the reserve fund as required to do. So again, the budget represents, I think, our shared values, our shared commitment, and a shared determination to get the job done and to meet the needs of our constituents. And again, building towards a more fair and equitable Los Angeles. Mayor Bass, thank you.
Thank you.
Without further ado, my pleasure and honor to present the budget chair of our council, a man who is no stranger to the difficulties of reaching compromise and meeting needs, but he's chaired this committee with great skill, grace, and strength. Bob Blumenfield.
And before the councilman speaks, I might mention that when the four of us were in Sacramento, Assemblyman Blumenfield was the budget chair through those difficult times.
Well, thank you. Although there was a big difference 14 years ago when we were dealing with a very difficult budget and we were in the legislative branch, we had an executive who had very different values in many ways. One of the unique things about this budget and this budget process is we have an executive who shares our values. And all of us, I mean, that's one of the things, yeah, there were a lot of, difficulties and complications we had to work through. But at the end of the day, all of us, and the mayor leading the charge, were leaning in on our shared values. We were leaning in on how to really fund and address homelessness. And with just a record amount of focus and money, $1.3 billion going to homelessness. And we were leaning in on public safety. The mayor set the bar and said, we are going to hire this many officers, even if it seems ambitious. And we leaned in and said, yes, we are going to fully fund that effort. We are going to fully fund our police department. And we all also leaned in saying, well, public safety is policing, we want to fully fund that, but we also want to work on this alternative interventions. And so we leaned in, adding another $14 million to alternative interventions to really take the efforts that this city has already started and move them forward in a very positive way. So I'm very proud of what this budget represents. We also leaned in on, I talked about the issue of the day is homelessness, and the issue of our time is climate change. And we leaned in on that as well, adding over $25 million to decarbonization of our buildings and electrifying our fleets. So this is a very, I think it's a very good budget. And we were lucky as a budget committee that we were given a document by the mayor that was pretty much there, was 99% of the way there. We needed to go through and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but at the end of the day, the priorities are all 100% intact. And we were able to work that through. And there were some issues you talked about. We found that balance of accountability and expediency. How do we put those two together? We found a really good way to make that happen that gives the mayor the authority, the access to the funds to be able to move forward with haste and nothing holding back, but gives the council also that role that they are charged with in this charter to have that oversight and accountability. So I'm very proud of what we've done here. I'm very grateful to our mayor for leading the charge and excited about this item.
It is wonderful to work together again.
What's your hand? Let's jump down. Good swear, please. Thank you. One over here, please. Thank you.
Okay.
One serious.
What is it?
I get that wrong.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, let's go back.
Right here, please. Thank you.
This way.